communication skills, because I remember that like once in my C's program, so the teacher was asking like what's object and active. So currently I'm working on an iOS app, right? So I built that app in just one day, but deploying that, like I'm working on that for around like most of the people, like 95% people, they don't lack the technicalities, but because they're unable to with the computer. But like you will be just giving inputs to the computer and it will be give you some output and stuff like that. But that is not the case. I would say that go for it, like anything that you want to achieve. So go for it.
Assalamualaikum Abdul Basit. Welcome to Campus to Career.
Welcome, Assalam Kulsoom. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Great. I wanted to start by having you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your professional journey so far.
Sure. So my name is Abdul Basit, and currently I am working as a senior software engineer at HungerStation. I'm also a GD, a Google developer expert for Android and cloud AI. I'm also like kind of an open source contributor. So I contribute to the KMP word, like in Kotlin and those. And I have like around 8 years of experience. So that's mostly about me.
Wonderful. आपने actually बहुत interesting सी एक दो चीज़ें mention की हैं that I want to dive deeper into. So you mentioned that you are a Google developer expert. Can you tell us a little about what this program actually is?
Sure. So basically, there are Google technologies, like we have Android, we have JavaScript, and then we have Cloud AI. So there are different products from Google, and what they do is that they have a program called a GDE program, Google Developer Expert Program. So if you have expertise in those Google products or like in those frameworks, so what they do is that they nominate some people that spread the knowledge and like who are basically contributing to the community. So once like you are there, basically it's in how should I say that, like it's in a community of expert by Google, where they share the product and what are the new features that we have, and they experiment with different stuff. So once you have like some expertise in that Google products, then you can apply for that program, and it's like via referral basically. So
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And so इसके लिए कोई भी apply कर सकता है?
Everyone can apply for that, and the idea is that like first of all, like आपका जो है ना community के ऊपर impact होना चाहिए. Like you should have open source contribution, you should have some videos on YouTube, you should have some blogs, or in any way that you can create impact on the community and share the voice. So once you have enough contribution, then like any Google employee or existing GDE can recommend you for the GDE program.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think that sounds exciting. That's great. Okay, so you've mentioned that you contribute open source, right? And आपके actually JetBrains में भी I think आपकी sample applications जो है ना वहाँ पर view हुई हैं, और so especially I think in Compose आपने काफ़ी काम किया है, and your sample applications really have done really well. So why do you think your applications gained such popularity? या आपने क्या सोच के इनको start किया?
Yeah, so this is very interesting. So basically, what I wanted to do is that I want to create cross-platform apps, and like sometime I work on Flutter, then I wanted to like build some app for iPhone, and I was doing that, but I was too lazy to like lean onto the Mac ecosystem, like because I have to learn something new and like Xcode and stuff like that. And then like I was looking towards that. Okay, if we have some cross-platform stuff, and suddenly like I don't know where I landed on Compose multi-platform repo, and I was amazed, like okay, I can build apps with Compose multi-platform and complete Kotlin multi-platform. It was I think around 2022 or something like that, and I discovered that, and like I was pretty much amazed by that, and then I started building stuff on Kotlin multi-platform, and also because for me I also wanted to explore Compose on Android side. So it was like I have like multiple advantages to lean on that.
Hmm.
So I started exploring that, and like I used to spend weekends just on that, like okay, running that, because at the start it was there was a lot of issues and you have to do a lot of contributions. Then I used to explore open source projects that okay how they are doing it, and this is how like I started. And then I built one of the app, the music app. So it was leveraging like cross-platform APIs. Like it was on Android, it was on iOS, Mac OS, and also for the web. So it was using like all of those four platforms. And at that time, like there was very less projects which was like showcasing something like that. So I think this is from where it started, and like it also got featured in the DroidCon Berlin by JetBrains. So
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, what do you think? Like for fresh grads, yeah, people who are early on in their career, ऐसे side projects कितने जरूरी हैं?
I think it's very, very important. Like, first of all, like for me, if I look back,
Hmm.
so I didn't know anything about like okay, you can do open source contributions, you can create projects,
Hmm.
and like I remember that like once in my C's program, so the teacher was asking like what's object, and I couldn't answer that like okay, like you create an instant, this becomes an object, right? But once you start like seeing the real projects, right? Because in university most of the times it's like they give you that okay what are the UML diagrams and how what are the sequence diagrams, right? But you don't know really like what's built, how you can build an app and what are those things, right? So I would highly recommend that like go for it, like if you can create a sample app. And I had a friend, I would say that he highly contributed like in my career path. So in 7 semesters, so he told me that we should do. I by the way, I graduated from Concepts Iftabad,
Hmm.
so there are not much software companies there. So my friend Mohammad Iqbal from Gilgit Baltistan, so he compelled me like okay, he forced me that we should do the internship somewhere, and there was a company called ANF Solutions. So they give us the opportunity, and we started, and we work on Android. So from there, like it's 7 semester, I came to know that okay, how things really works and what are those things. So
Hmm.
if I have discovered that thing earlier, like in second semester or first semester, so thing would have different. This is what I think, but
Hmm. बिल्कुल. You're right that university often
mm,
teaches you a lot of theory, and then to get real world exposure, you need to, dive into the industry or, work on
yep.
real projects to understand that. So now AI is, really boosting, right? So with the
Mm.
advance of AI, do you think side projects are still that valuable? Because you can mostly get them done through AI, right? So do you think those are still things that add value if they're on your resume or not?
They definitely do, and the reason is that like most people think that in the AI, like in the industry, that the coding was the choking point, but that is not the case. Like still, like there was a lot of people who can produce code, but not all products works. And the other thing is the exposure, right? Like okay, so currently I'm working on an iOS app, right? So I built that app in just one day, but deploying that, like I'm working on that for around like a week now. That okay, you have different compliance issues, you have different stuff, right? So I would still suggest that like this thing that like the experience, right? That okay, you have built a product, you work on that. Now you have to validate that idea that okay, I built something simple, but do you think it's needed, it's not needed, or like the whole process, right? Like you build an app, you deploy that, then you spread the word that okay, this is the app that I built, the analytics. Like there are different things that involves in a project, right? So I would still I think like there is still importance for the projects. And even like the AI, you have to do prompting, right? So you have to know that okay,
Hmm.
what AI is working best with, not working, like what are the pros, what are the cons, where it works well, where it doesn't work well. And like the end-to-end delivery, it's something different, it's not like just the code generation. So I think it's still valuable. Like you should have some small prototypes and try to deploy them from end to end. It's something different.
Oh, that's great. And I think one thing that you emphasized on, not just creating projects, but also deploying them end to end. I think that would give you the
Yep.
exposure. And I think that's something that'll make you stand out on your resume, right? And I think open source projects, that's something that you did. So that's coming from your experience.
Yep.
So now you are currently working at HungerStation, which is in Saudi, and I think before this you were working at SadaPay in Pakistan, right?
Yep.
So how did you apply internationally? How did you get this opportunity?
Yeah. So for me, outside of, if you remember during the COVID time and those, so there was like a lot of influx in people were going abroad because the software was peak, but then it went downfall.
Hmm.
So after that, I was applying abroad, but I think the response was very low.
Hmm.
And during, I think in March or something like that, so I was exploring opportunities outside Pakistan, but the response was very slow. Then I got an email, a message from the HR that if you're interested in that position for Android at HungerStation, so we would like you to join. I had a discussion with them, but unfortunately, that position got closed.
Hmm.
So then I was like, okay, what I can do next. So after a month or two, the position like opened again, and then I asked the HR that like, this is the position, and kindly if I can be considered for that, and they said yes. So this is from where like the process started.
Hmm.
And like I most by the way, like most of the people think, I don't know, this is like the remote jobs and the in the remote work, like it's very easy to get, but like the reality is a bit different. Like you already know that remote work, it's companies were during COVID time, so they were doing a lot of remote, like they were offering, but nowadays I think it's very less ratio of the companies
Hmm.
who allow remote. And
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I think a couple of questions from this, but firstly, if you want to apply internationally, what's the best?
Mm,
Because पाकिस्तान के अंदर opportunities मिलना फिर भी आसान होता है आपको आप different
mm,
companies apply कर तो you do get callbacks, you do get interview calls. But
mm.
applying internationally, the job market is very tough because you're competing globally, right? The scope
Yep, yep.
is so and then there's also visa issues and so many other complications. So what do you think um, helps in that process of getting international
Mm.
opportunities?
Yeah, so I think first of all, like you should what they say, like increase your luck area, right? So I would suggest that create more visibility around your work. Like I got one or two offers just for my open source contribution. Like okay, someone was building an app or KMP, and they were like, okay, we saw your GitHub profile, and if you're interested, like so. I think this is why I recommended that like also try to have like during university have some prototypes, some apps that you have built end to end, right? Like uh, even if there is a small startup, because most of the times like startup they are interested, and like the major the either you will be going for a startup or you will be going for like a very big giant company, right? That can
Hmm.
for the abroad.
Hmm.
So for the startup to catch you in that case, like you have to showcase them. You should be working in their core, right? Like if it's a fintech or if it's a grocery delivery, so if you have built something or worked something relevant to that, so like it will be more easy for them to find you, and like because you have the relevant experience, right?
Hmm.
So that is the first thing. And the second thing is like if you are interested, so apply for the jobs. Like
Hmm.
I know that it's very it's very tiring that every time like you apply for a broad job, and you just get an automated email that okay, you are rejected, or we don't want to, we cannot, there were some other candidates that was better suited, right? So I think in that case, like if you have not applied for job, they don't know about you. So what I would recommend is that apply for that job. If there is someone currently in that company, that you can send a message to them, like if they can give you a referral or anything like that, right? Because I think the referral have like 80% chances of being hired as compared to the
Hmm.
direct apply, right? So I would highly recommend that look for a referral, that if somehow you can get that. And another thing is that maybe uh, not sure if like it's recommended or not, but like if you look into the visa process in Pakistan, right? So like it takes a lot of time, like even 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, right? So in that case, like if you can land some other company, even like the pay is not good, but if there is yeah, in the embassies, if the queue is like small, maybe you can first relocate to that company, and then from there you can apply, right? So these are different ways that you can like work on, but it also depends on your own circumstances, that okay, what you can do and what are the paths that are available for you.
That's right. That's true. And so, what does the hiring process look like for such companies, like, for example, at HungerStation?
Mhm. So first of all, for HungerStation, like there are 4 to 5 steps.
Hmm.
So like you apply at the company, and if you got like listed, and the HR's seen that your profile is fit for that, so they will reach out to you. And then we have like 4 to 5 interviews. So the first one is the coding one, where you will be like solving different problems with a senior engineer. And then we have another round, which is system design interview, where you will be like interviewing your staff level engineers, and they will try to assess that your architectural thoughts. So there will be an architectural problem, you have to solve that. And then we have the team fit interview. So you do that, and after that we have another interview either with the director of engineer or CTO. Like, so I think in overall we have 4 to 5 steps that go through that. And once you have like done with that, so then your relocation process will start.
Nice. So the first coding interview that you said, so is that specific to the technology that you will be working on? For example, with for Android, will that be an Android coding challenge, or would that just generally be like problem solving or data structures and algorithms?
Yeah, so there will be 2 parts. So the first one is like just coding or lead kind of interview, and like you have been a problem that you have to solve, and it can be in any language, like you can use Kotlin in case for Android developers. And then the next part is like you have some specific Android problem that you have to solve, and like you have to apply the solid design principles and like all of the clean architecture and those things, and you try to solve that problem via those. So the problem is like most of the time it's relevant to that specific position that you are interviewing for. Like for example, Android, so you will be asked Android question. If you're for backend, so it will be a backend problem that you have to solve.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. So, what's one pattern that you've observed during the recruitment process where candidates struggle the most in?
Mhm. I think the interview pressure, that is like one of the, I have like felt myself, and also feel like the other people are like facing the same thing.
Hmm.
So the most of the times, like you will also have observed that like the problem, it's very simple, right? But because you're under pressure, and sometimes like what we do is that okay, you have like for a problem you have multiple solutions. Now you think that this is a straightforward solution, I can go for it, but then you think that okay, what will they think, like,
Huh.
because this is what your interviewer is thinking, like okay, if they find it fit, then you are selected, otherwise you are rejected. So like sometimes we overcomplicate things, that the problem is very simple, and you try to work on that problem, but because due to anxiety and you are under pressure at that time, so you make that very simple problem like very big, and you try to solve it. And so I think this is the main thing that you like we need to work on as a software engineer, that okay, how to handle that anxiety, or how to come up with solution under pressure. So this is the, like, you don't have like most of the people, like 95% people, they don't lack the technicalities, but because they're unable to handle the pressure. And like if you look into the most of interviews, so sometimes like they are looking for that specific keyword, like most of the time, that okay, you apply this principle, you apply this principle, and you are good to go. Because in 45 minutes or 1 hour, you cannot judge someone like that easily, right?
Hmm.
So I think that's the thing. And before that, like I would recommend that try to read the engineering blogs of that company. Like if you remember for SadaPay, so we had explicitly said that okay, we go for TDD, right, test driven development. So before the interview, if you can try to look into TDD, okay, what it is, why we do practice that, what are different approaches for that, and things like that, right? So I would highly recommend that read the blogs, read about the company a bit, so that you know that okay what they're expecting, and based on that, like so that there is a middle ground and you can answer those questions accordingly.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. It's not easy, giving such interviews, and often very good engineers also struggle with that. So I think some practice beforehand would be very valuable in this case. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So now, what do you think your job expectations or your day to day, how has that changed with the evolution of AI, with how AI has become so common?
Yeah, so I think from day to day, like now, if you look, most of the tasks that can be done by AI, and like you're just doing the prompt engineering, and from that prompt, like you get the exact output. So I think but there is a catch that if you have a messy code and if the code is not clean, right? So the AI get confused a lot, and I have observed that you like for the AI to have better output, your code should be in a very good state so that like the AI can work on that. So I think in the case like in the world of AI now, because everything is developed by AI, so it's more critical to have like know that okay, what's your architecture, and review your code that is being generated by the AI. So like sometimes the what the AI does is that it like a problem that can be solved in very simple steps. It try to like over exaggerate and like do a lot of things there, which pollute your code. So I think in that case we have to look into that. Like okay, whatever AI is generating, instead of like just blindly accepting that, like try to have a look that okay, or at least give the architecture pattern in the prompt to the AI so that it can follow that. And another thing that I see from the AI is that more product ownership. So if you before how the flow was like that, uh, you will get the requirements, the product manager or the EM, they will give you the requirements, you used to implement those, and then you will use to get the output. So the engineer was only involved in the like the implementation part, right? But now I see that there is like a mix of the product plus engineering requirement, that we have to build that feature, but at the same time the engineer is responsible for that feature. Like they have to do the rollout, they have to see that okay, we are getting those numbers or not. So now I think currently some startups are doing that. They gives the whole OKR just to the engineer, that suppose you have to improve the login page. So how much the chance and like the whole metrics, it's being handled by the engineer, and they have to come up with the ideas how we can improve that and like the whole process. So I think it's gonna be uh, in the world of AI. So we will be moving more towards that, like the EM and the PM. So and the engineers, so they those roles going to be mixed up, and you will be responsible for the whole features or the whole app metrics. So I think this is where we are going towards.
Yeah, and that's very interesting that you're not just responsible for
Yeah,
development, but you're actually, responsible for the success of the feature
those.
or whatever you are working on. That's great.
Yeah.
One more thing. So I think besides your technical skills, once you've gotten into a big, a startup or a good international company, what do you think are key skills that you need to have in order to succeed in that role?
Yeah, I think that one thing that is very overlooked is the communication skills.
Hmm.
That like most of as an engineers, we try to focus on technical skills. That okay, we should be able to do that,
Hmm.
but at some point, like okay, you have the technical skills, but your main blocker is your communication skills, how you communicate and how to basically effectively communicate. So this is where we are lacking, and I think we need to work on that. Like, and this is like people believe that like as a software engineer, so most of the times you will be communicating just with the computer, but like you will be just giving inputs to the computer and it will be give you some output and stuff like that. But that is not the case. Like if you see, like 70% of the times it's just communication with the people, that okay, we were doing this, we want to go on this way, that way. So in that case the communication is like it becomes more important. And the thing is that like if you took a wrong step, or like if the features was like it was expectation this but you took some other turn, so in that case like the whole features rotate, right? So I think effective communication and communication skill, these are the most important things that are required for in engineering, which are overlooked but we should work on.
Yeah, yeah, I think I definitely agree. I definitely agree. So I want to quickly head over to a rapid fire round, and
Mhm.
then I'll continue asking you a few more questions. Does that sound good?
Yep, sure, let's go for it.
Okay. So Android Views or Jetpack Compose?
Compose.
Okay. KMP or Flutter?
KMP.
Startup or big tech?
Startup.
Remote or office?
Remote.
Okay. Open source or freelancing?
Open source.
GitHub or LinkedIn?
Can I say both?
Yeah, you can. You can. Okay. AI pair programming or coding solo?
AI pair programming.
Clean architecture or ship fast?
The mix of both.
Yeah. Yeah. Internships or side projects?
Uh, Both. Why I would say can I?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So why would I say both? Because if you are working on the side projects, so like you are working solo, this is where like your communication skill and like you are not focusing on that. But if you are working with the team, so in that case, like in internship, so you know the office environment, how things flows and how to like get your things done with other people, right? Because most of the time you will not be working solo, and you will be needing the help of the other people, your teams. So in that case, I think it's very crucial that you should have experience of both.
Nice, nice. Consistency or motivation?
Consistency.
Hmm. Okay. Early morning or late night coding?
Early morning.
Me too. So I'm gonna head over to some like one word or one liner questions
Mhm.
as part of the second part of this rapid fire. So one skill every software engineer should master in the AI era.
Communication skills, because coding is no longer a blocker. So I think communication skill is the only thing.
Nice. Biggest green flag in a candidate.
Motivation and like curiosity.
Biggest red flag in a candidate.
Being defensive on wrong things, I would say.
Yeah. One misconception about applying abroad.
That it's very easy and it's like you just apply and you will get that.
That's true. One AI tool you genuinely use every day.
Copilot.
One technology that's overhyped.
Overhyped. I would say AI. Like at the same time, it's very beneficial, but people sometimes who hype it. Like if you look into Twitter and LinkedIn, people will tell you that okay, we just found you will do this, but that is not the case. I'm using it every day, and like once you start using it, you realize that okay, it's not like that.
Yeah, yeah, there's more to it.
Yeah.
One habit that accelerates your career the most.
Communication and like communicating with the people around you and consistency, like show every day.
Nice, nice. I think that's wonderful. Okay, so I wanted to ask one more thing related to LinkedIn. I think you have a very strong LinkedIn presence and a good following, and like you mentioned, that's helped you land opportunities as well. So, someone who's starting out, who's fresh, who does not have that much exposure, experience, how do you think they can build their online presence or their personal brand on LinkedIn?
Yeah. By the way, like before that, I want to start with myself, like how I started
Me.
LinkedIn. So basically, like when I was at Vision X, so I had a colleague, Mashal Ria. So she compelled me that you should give talk, that you have very good technical understanding, and you should give for like go for talks. And I she landed me the first gig for the, I think it was in the GDG Islamabad. Like we were doing a live session, and this is from where like my first talk that I have started. and I posted that on LinkedIn, and like people like it. Like, okay, there was like around 13 to 20 likes on that post, and I like, okay, this is very interesting.
Hmm.
Then I used to think that LinkedIn is only for, it's very very professional, okay, and you cannot like write anything on it. So what I used to do is that I used to apply for talks uh, at different places so that I can just post it on LinkedIn. I don't know why, but like I used to do that.
Yeah.
So then I used to like, I just used to post like talks that, okay, I'm giving a talks there, here and there. Then I started the KMP like in 2022 or something like that, around era, and I used to share stuff there. And this is from where like I started to know that, okay, what's the real power of LinkedIn, because
Hmm.
before that I didn't knew about it, like, okay, how you can post and different stuff. So I think regarding the brand building, so this is from where like I started, and then I started moving forward and started posting more frequently. Then I started to know that, okay, how I can leverage this tool. So I would say that anything that you are interested in, or like anything that like give you some kind of spark, just post that on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
So the thing is that like the people who are interested in your stuff, they will automatically come to you and try to explore your stuff and try to engage your post. And it's very very crucial because it gives you visibility, right? And if you cannot showcase your work, the things that you're working on, that means that you are just in a silo, or like uh, in isolation. So you share your work, and the benefit of that is that it's not that it's only benefiting you. Like, okay, you get in touch with the people, they know your work, but at the same time, it also helps them. Suppose you have a project that you have created, and like for me, I stumbled on Compose Multiplatform accidentally. Suppose if I was someone in my connection was sharing some content regarding that, I would be like, I could have discovered that more earlier, as I discovered that very late.
Hmm.
So it also benefits the people around you, and they say that like it should be two-way benefit. Like, it's not that it's only some create something that benefiting also other people. So I think this is how you can build the community or the profile or the brand on LinkedIn, that okay, start sharing stuff first of all, and that stuff should benefit not only you but also the other people. Because if you're building things or sharing stuff that people are not interested in, so it's gonna be like what you can say, it's gonna be like just sitting there, right? Nobody is gonna be uh, focused on that, or like they will be engaging with it. So I would suggest that try to build a brand which also helps you, but at the same time also benefit other people, give some benefits to them, something of value, and people will start coming.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So you mentioned that you applied for talks, which is something very interesting because very few people actually do that because stepping out of your comfort zone, speaking in front of people is very it can be very intimidating. So I think that's wonderful. But where did you find these talks where you applied to? Was it just on
Yep, yep.
LinkedIn or where was that?
Yeah, so there are different ways like you can look. First of all, like we have sessionize, so there like you can look for different sessions that you can look for. Okay, what is the event happening around me, and then based on that, like you can apply for that. You have the GDG groups, right? Like I think in Karachi we have GDG Karachi, in Islamabad we have GDG Islamabad. So there are different groups that in each city, in big city, we have like different groups, right? You can reach out to them that okay, it's gonna be happening like in next month, I'm interested in to give this talk. And then you can like do some touch base and talk with those people if they can consider your talk or not. Also uh, you can ask them to also arrange some events, right? Like it can be live or anything. And there is like a lot of forums that you can like we have DroidCon Berlin, DroidCon different happening in different countries, so you can also apply for that. But it's very difficult to get in because it needs to be a very specialized talk. So this is how like you can look for different talks that are happening. And at the same time, I think the local community, so get in touch with people and they will tell you that okay, we are arranging some stuff. And
Yeah. So I think your network is also very important here.
yep, yep, definitely.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Basit. I want to give the give you the chance to give some
Hmm.
advice for anyone who is early on in their career, and just looking for opportunities, or maybe even found opportunities. What advice
Hmm.
do you want to give them?
I would say that go for it, like anything that you want to achieve. So go for it. Also, another thing I would say that they say that like the people that you are surrounded by, like you are the sum of five of them or something like that, right? Like you are the average of them. So I would say that change your surroundings. And nowadays, like in the world of AI, of like the AI and the social media that we have, it's very very easy to do it, like because you in virtually you are in the circle of the people you are following, you are interacting with, right? So I would highly recommend that interact with the people that you look towards, and like and also cold email. Like, okay, if you have someone who is doing like some amazing work, go and touch with them, and like it will give you a different perspective, right, from your existing community. And the other thing is that like uh, it might be a bit controversial, but like the advice from the wrong people, right? So normally, suppose I have different mindset, somebody who is young, where they will have a different kind of mindset. So whatever you are dreaming of, go for it. Because if I tell you that it cannot be done, it's because I didn't make it. So this is why I'm saying it. But maybe you can make it. So go for it. Anything, like nothing is out of the reach. You just have to like work on that, and anything can be done. So yeah, just go for it. Like, don't look behind and do it.
I think that's wonderful advice. Thank you so much for your time, Basit. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you so much for inviting me.